Hello, and welcome to this special Zoom edition of Horror Rewind. I'm Kelly Florence,
And I'm Meg Hofdahl.
and today we're going to talk to you about all of the things that we have been up to since 2020 happened a year ago, and now we're into 2021. It's been a year, right, Meg?
Yeah, it has. I kind of feel like, I don't know, maybe this needs to be a Zoom show. I don't
There you go.
know. I
Like
kind of like it.
let's just meet up like at least once a week and discuss horror because that's what we do anyway, right?
That's what we do anyway. So, yeah, 2020's been crazy and it's March again. So, yay.
And I remember describing it back a year ago as like it felt like Groundhog's Day or Happy Death Day for horror fans out there. But 2020 wasn't terrible to us. We had two books published in 2020. Meg had one more published or several things
I don't
published.
know.
She published a bunch, and then we also had a lot of great horror movies that we saw and loved. We got Bram Stoker nominated, which is an honor and is amazing for our The Science of Women in Horror book. Oh, you know what? I just might happen to have a copy right here.
There it is.
And so,
Oh my
we feel hashtag blessed and really
Yeah.
thankful. And it's all because of you rewinders, because this is how it all started.
That's right. And we're very, privileged too. So as much as we can complain about lockdown, like I think all of us are so tired of it and stuff, I can't complain too much about COVID. So and as horror fans, we've maybe even got more time to watch horror. So yeah, I feel like you rewinders have really like helped us just make this year really special. So 2021 is going to be even better. It's feeling like spring outside right now. I saw a picture of you like outside enjoying the Duluth sunshine.
Guess what? It was 36 degrees. And for me, that's spring, baby. It's spring.
Yes. Yeah. It's in the 40s down here. So it was like no jacket day today.
Yeah, it's great. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about if you haven't checked in a while, what am I obsessed with now that's non-horror related? I won't show you because it's not healed yet, but I'm obsessed with the TV show Cobra Kai.
Of course.
That's a gift that we got this year.
Yeah, it is. See, there you go. I've been reading a lot. Not to like
Oh, you're so intellectual and I'm such a moron.
No, I've been watching a lot of shit, but not to say Cobra Kai shit. I've been watching.
Aw, you would never. I know you
back and I just keep digging the grave. But anyway, I have been reading a lot. So I've read found all these great authors that I hadn't read before. Twitter's really helped me like find horror authors that I've just like fallen in love with. So that's been awesome. And I've been watching, I don't know, I'm kind of in this like retro horror movie stage, which I guess I can't call that a stage because like that's literally Horror Rewind.
your whole life.
That's my whole life. But I've just been trying to kind of fill in gaps of movies I haven't seen from, the 70s and 80s and stuff. And there's something really comforting about just the music and the acting, and I don't know, sometimes you just want to like go down the nostalgia path. So I've been doing that the last like couple weeks, and my whole life.
Well, yeah, no, I love that. And so you were speaking of reading, to bring it back. If you haven't listened to the podcast lately, every week, Meg is talking about something new in the world of horror fiction. And you would be surprised some of the things. Like, I didn't know there was poetry about serial killers. I didn't know that there's these undiscovered Shirley Jackson things like you're going to talk about next week on the podcast. It's amazing. So thank you. You're illuminating my life. And so speaking of that too, I know some people have said they've been dealing with lockdown by reading, just reading everything ravenously that they can get their hands on. And I've also heard the opposite from a lot of people saying, I don't have the headspace to even concentrate. I can't do it. I'm rewatching old comfort shows. And so, it's interesting how we all have our own coping mechanisms.
Yeah, our brains all work differently. And I think the best way to deal with that is just like accept where you are right now, and if somebody's in the opposite scenario, don't judge, because and it's also like stages. I feel like this last year has been like we've all gone through, like everybody went through like the sourdough bread stage or whatever, but like, and not even literally meaning sourdough bread, but just like everybody's going through these different, it was almost like the stages of grief, because we had to like, I mean, people were literally grieving, but also we're like grieving for what life used to be like compared to now. So I feel like however you do that, that isn't just, completely destroying your body, then that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Whatever coping mechanism you need.
I agree. And so speaking of coping mechanisms, as you can probably guess, one of our coping mechanisms is watching new horror movies besides old. I have to talk about a few of my favorites that came out this year. Scare Me on Shudder, anything for Jackson on Shudder, Freaky, it was in the theater. Promising Young Woman, like what? My head is going to explode. Oh, P.S. Like I literally got Meg us the bestie necklaces from Promising Young Woman because of that movie. Oh, and that's why my nails are like this. I'm a little bit obsessed. You would never guess that about me though, right?
That's what I love about you, Kelly. You're just like, oh yeah, I've got my Cobra Kai tattoo, my Promising Young Woman necklace and nails. Like that's how
And we have our Grady girls.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's just how we do. I'm trying to untangle this. Yeah, no, there's been so many good new movies, and I feel like we have access to movies that we didn't used to have access to independent horror movies like we do now. So I'm thankful of all, not just Shudder, but other streaming services for like bringing movies to our attention, like that we would have never seen, and maybe wouldn't have even gotten produced without these streaming services. So there's so many to name. Like somebody yesterday, I've seen a couple times, people are like, I just got on Shudder, what should I watch? It's like everything. I try to give suggestions, but there's so many good things. I mean, we are spoiled.
It's a good problem to have, truly. Mm-hmm. So things that are coming up this year to look forward to. We have a new book coming out this year in our Science of series. It's called The Science of Serial Killers. And we focus on specific serial killers, and either through the horror movie or movie that was based on them, the TV show, or sometimes a book that was written about them. So we've sort of expanded our lens of, it's not just going to be horror movies. Now it's like, you know what? Let's look a little further. And I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that I really like true crime. And there was that sketch on SNL the other day. I watched that, and so it's funny. Like, I mean, it's no secret that many people, particularly women, it seems, are really fascinated by true crime. So I'm excited to hear what people think of our book, because we tried to really take it in a new way and sort of, it's just hard to do. There's so many true crime books and movies and all those things, but I think we really have a unique book. And, we explore things that I don't think a lot of books do. So I'm very excited about it. And I just think that people who either know a lot about serial killers or like nothing will all appreciate our book.
Absolutely. And we interview so many interesting people that maybe people haven't heard from before or about these topics that we're exploring. And it's definitely a different way, a different look into the science behind these serial killers. And I know we've said this on other platforms, but just know we are not putting these guys on pedestals. I had a hard time not ending every chapter with, in conclusion, this guy was an asshole. So
they are all assholes. And so we certainly aren't writing like us into like Ted Bundy fan fiction or anything. We very much, and also not even that, the like sexiness, but also like these guys aren't that cunning. Like, it always, they want to make it seem like it's like they're like geniuses. No, they're not. They got caught and they were, a slave to their own issues and desires or whatever. So we like to get into the science behind them. We don't, like Kelly said, put them on a pedestal, and we definitely are aware that real people died. And so that was something we wanted to focus on in the book, not in a sad way, but just be cognizant of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm really proud of it. I'm proud of all of our books, but I think we just keep learning and growing, and and we are literally learning so much. Also, we announced this, we signed the contract for our 5th book in the Science of series. It's going to be dun dun dun, the Science of Witchcraft. I'm so excited.
Yay! I know, like, I don't even know what to do. I think what I'm most excited about is the learning. Like, I have so much to learn about witches and witchcraft, and like I need to turn myself into a witch. So I have a lot to do.
We, in the past 3 days, I think we've already doubled and then tripled and then quadrupled all our knowledge just in the past 3 days of the little bit of work we've been doing every day. So
It's such a what I'm finding just at the very like tip of everything is it's such a feminist, female driven movement. Whatever you believe, and that doesn't even matter. It's about females coming together, and like that's our favorite topic. So
yeah.
I'm really excited.
Yeah. And we are going to be interviewing some really fascinating, wonderful people for this book as well. So stay tuned. And we've gotten so much, as soon as we announced, we had so many DMs of people being like, this is who you need to talk to, or do you want to talk to me because of this? And we're like, wow.
Yeah. I think it's going to be, it's going to be hard to not interview everybody for this book. So
yeah, it could be like 1,000-pager, but it won't.
Yeah, we don't want it to be a huge tome, but I'm very excited about the topic. That's for sure.
Now, speaking of new books that are also coming out this year, Meg, you have the 3rd short story collection in your series coming out and a new novel. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, so I don't know when I sleep, but
you know what? It's like, well, it's not Blair Witch. It's a Paranormal Activity style. You're just like wandering around during the night, like on night vision cameras, like writing. I think I've solved it. That's what
or
it
I'm
is.
like Samara when the clock's just going like that,
Yeah. Either way, I'm terrified, but I'm also like enthralled.
It's for good. But I have my short story collection coming out, Twisted Reveries 3, and I decided to do all the stories. There were a couple times during it I was like, why did I do this to myself? But I decided to do all the stories. Basically, I think one is during World War II, but that's the most recent one. They're all before World War II. So
what was your favorite era to write in, and what was the most difficult era to write in?
Oh, that's a good question. I think the most difficult era to write in is like I wrote in like the 1700s, and the further back you get, the more you sort of second guess your dialogue and things like that. So that could be kind of tricky. I try to do, research as best I can. And I've written time, period pieces before. So I know a little bit about it, but that's definitely hard. And then my most favorite, probably the ones where I learned. So like I wrote one story during a suffragette parade in Chicago, and it was one that really happened. And so I got to do research about it. And like that day it was this torrential downpour, and these women didn't let that stop them, and they all walked in this parade. And I just have chills right now. And it's just like, this amazing movement that they were involved in, and like they don't even know right now that Kamala Harris is vice president, and that was happening while I was writing it. Like she was being, and so I don't know, that was really cool. I like when I can do that kind of research into things I actually find fascinating in history.
I love that. And
yeah,
that story reminds me of one of the last trips I took was last January to visit friends in Philadelphia and then New York City. And there was a women's parade happening the day that we were in NYC. And we were walking to Moulin Rouge, and we walked through the parade, and it was again a downpour. But you know what? Everyone's out there having a great time. Like, you know what? Nothing is stopping us. And I just felt this visceral energy, and it's all, you know what, friends, the earth is healing. We're going to be okay.
Yeah.
2021, we're all turning it around. It's going to be okay.
No, I'm very positive. I feel like there are a lot of not so great people out there, but I feel like there are more decent people who'd stand out in the rain like that for their cause, so
Yeah. Now,
yeah.
tell us, you have to also give us a hint about this new novel because you haven't talked about it. I mean, you've talked about it, but not yet on
Well,
this interview.
yeah.
What can you say?
I can say that I still have a lot of editing to do on it. It's coming out from Cursed Dragon Ship Publishing, which is run by Kelly Colby, who's herself a really wonderful author, but she developmentally edited my 3 Willoughby novels. So if anybody listening or watching are fans of those, then she's pretty awesome because she really makes me a better writer. So I'm excited to work with her. And my novel is called All the Devils, and it is about a woman who is obsessed with true crime, and that kind of becomes her superpower. And that's all I'll say.
I love it. So we during the month of February, we replayed old Horror Rewind episodes, and in one of them, I can't remember which one now, you talked about you joked, you're like, I don't need an editor, but you're like, actually my editor's amazing. So that just reminded me.
Yeah. Anybody who thinks they can get through life without an editor is wrong. So
I know.
sorry, you
and
are.
guess what? Like, as Lizzo says, truth hurts, but you have to, they make you better. Like constructive criticism is real, people. And I'm a teacher, like I teach public speaking, and I have to tell you how to improve. So I'm sorry. I know it's not always positive, not always, doesn't always feel good, but I'm trying to make it better. And so are editors.
I know. And at the same time, though, remember that sometimes editors won't gel with your personality. So it's okay to be like, this editor I'm not sure about. I'm gonna go over here and see what this person says. And like that, I think that's okay too, because sometimes people only read romance, and then you give them a horror novel and they're like, what is this?
And that reminds me too, like also you need to gel with your therapist. Find a therapist who gets you and isn't trying to change. Well, you know what I'm saying. You cannot
only
gel
trying
with
to change the things that you want to change too.
Oh, therapy. So on that note, Meg, what are you excited for that's coming
Am I in
up
therapy?
now?
Oh.
Tell me, wait, I need to know, because I don't know if I have actually asked you this. Did you watch The Walking Dead premiere the other night?
No. I'm sorry. I'm going to, but okay.
I know when you have to wait for your husband, it takes a year.
I know. It is. That's like the one show we watched together. So I'll probably watch it like next June or something. But give me one word.
I'm going to give you 2, and their character names. Let's just say this. The thing that made me smile in a devious way is Negan. And you would never believe ever that I would have gone on this journey, and you convinced me, Meg. You're like, just give it a try. Like, I promise you're not going to hate him always. I'm like, I hate him. And you're like, give it a try. And P.S., I'm the biggest Negan fan now. The other word I'm going to say, and Meg, you'll know if you remember, is Herschel.
Oh, I want to see a little Herschel. Oh, cute. Okay, so I'm excited.
Those are the opposite ends of the spectrum. It's like sexuality versus childhood.
How you feel about one and how you feel about the other.
I contain, what's the word?
Multitudes.
Yes, I contain multitudes. I have levels, okay? I can have both at the same time. So tell me what you're looking forward to this year is what I mean.
In Walking Dead or just in general?
No, just in general.
Looking forward to, first I'll start with books. I'm looking forward to, one book that just came out this week that I haven't got my hands on yet from Stephen King called Later. And then there's another book called Billy Summers coming out that I'm really excited about. My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. I'm really excited for. There's a bunch of books, but those are the
Richard Chismar has a new one too, right?
Oh yes, the Boogeyman.
Chasing the Boogeyman.
I'm really excited for that one too. Yeah, so that's just like off the top of my head. That was all men though. I need to.
Oh, Meg, do better.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I'm gonna do better. Okay. And
Also
then
into, I think it's, no, maybe it was another episode. I'm just gonna drag my husband for a second. I
please.
don't remember what episode it's in, but I was like, Mark, you're so binary. Yeah, it already aired. It was about what It Follows. Never mind.
Oh,
So
he is though, Oh, I was gonna say, oh, the thing that I was the thing I was most excited about in horror for 2020 was Candyman. So
oh,
the
I
thing I'm
know.
most excited for 2021 is Candyman again.
Fingers crossed that we get to see it. And yes, I
I know.
agree.
I'll watch it wherever I'm told to watch it. Like I
Oh,
just want to see it. I mean, not to have really huge expectations, but I kind of do because I just really want to see it.
I know.
But there are also Werewolves Within, the Josh Rubin movie. I love werewolves, and so I'm excited about that. I
Oh
love
yeah, that's
Scare
coming
Me.
out in June. Like that's
That's coming out in
exciting.
June. Yeah, and
And
then
hopefully, guess what? Biden announced today that we're all going to be vaccinated by May, so we might be able to see in the
we might
theater.
we might go to the theater. Yeah, so that's exciting. I know he did announce that, so that was like a promise, right?
Yeah, no take backsies.
No takey backs. No. Okay, what else? I don't know. I mean, there's so many great things. I'm probably blanking on. I think through the pandemic I've learned to like, you know, go with the flow a little bit
Yeah,
more.
I know.
And
I'm
like,
not expecting things to actually follow through.
yeah,
So yeah, if it comes out or it happens, bonus.
exactly. Yeah. So I think, I know you just record an episode about Wrong Turn, and I want to rent that and see that because I know you said that was good.
Yeah, our mutual friend Nate recommended it, and he's like, and he did not spoil anything, which, when you're so excited about something, it's hard not to like be like,
Yeah.
"Ah," and
Yeah.
tell everything. And he restrained himself somehow and didn't. That
Good.
episode's going to air next week, so yes, listen to us talk about that.
Okay.
I won't even say anything. Just watch.
Okay. Okay. So I'm excited to watch that. Yeah.
Non-horror wise, well, this is a little bit horror, but I'm about to get into a guilty pleasure, Meg. And if you need me to edit this out or just like do a long bleep throughout this next section, just tell me before I post this. But we've been watching Riverdale, and Jughead is an English professor.
That show is so crazy. It doesn't make any sense. He's a high school English teacher, and I wish. Look, I think I'm getting red just thinking about
see?
it.
Yeah. Open a window or something to cool
Yeah.
off. No, but Cole Sprouse, you're a gift, and
yeah.
thank you for like whoever styled him this season for like giving him tattoos and glasses.
I know, like, thank you. So that's been,
and also non-horror related. Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist is really good.
Oh, we love that show.
So good. And I love a good musical number.
Yeah, and they're really talented on that show. That's a really good one. And I have given up on a lot of shows that I used to watch, which is interesting because you'd think maybe like pandemic I would really like sink in more, but like I used to watch all the Bachelor shows. I haven't watched those in like several cycles now because I'm just like whatever. And there's some other shows where I was just like, I don't have time for this. So, it happens.
So not to bring it back to the pandemic, but speaking of like things that changed or we learned or grew, I became obsessed. Well, this was pre-pandemic, but I became obsessed with Gordon Ramsay, and I've watched everything now, and he's taught me so much. And I started like making my own pasta, and I started, everything is from scratch, and I've been cooking a lot. And Meg, you have reaped the benefits.
Yeah, I really like this. I really like this version of you where you cook really, really good food. Like she makes vegetarian In-N-Out sliders. Holy shit. And you made the pasta, like the popular pasta, the feta. That was amazing. I could go on and on.
Thank you.
But you are a really good cook, and I reap the benefits.
Well, let me tell you, you make a killer pot of French press. So
oh, thanks. I get takeout, and then I make I make French press coffee. That's what I do.
Although there was one day and we were literally working and we had to work because we were getting our latest book in. And Meg's husband made us a thing of French press and he put in like triple or
I
quadruple
didn't
the
know.
amount.
We
And we were
were
like buzzing like moths.
yeah, it was bad. I was like, don't ever, ever. Remember I said it's supposed to be like a tablespoon per cup. And he's like, a tablespoon? That's yeah. So we were flying off the walls. So let's not do that again.
And I remember like feeling physically hot, like I had to take my
Yeah.
sweater off and I had to pace. I've never felt that way. I mean, maybe I had like a Red Bull, you know, like when those were popular 2 decades ago. Who
Mhm.
knows now? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know.
But
I know.
God.
I have a side part, so apparently I'm old.
Well, guess what? I do too. And I have pictures of me. It was our when we went to Crypticon right after I got my tattoo, and I was doing the middle part because I'm like, oh, people like this, and I'm like, the middle part looks like crap.
Really? I don't know. I don't like it. And then this whole skinny jean thing, like I don't know if people don't like skinny jeans, but I love skinny jeans, so I'm not ready to let that go yet. And if that makes me an old lady, I don't care. I'm just
Listen,
old then.
tune in or listen to Horror Rewind for the latest takes on fashion.
I'm definitely all about the fashion.
Although, you know what? It like the past 3 days, I've had like different appointments or had to go get groceries or go to the post office. And every single day, someone's like, wow, you're fashionable. They literally said that to me. I guess.
Well,
it's
you
just like,
are. You
oh,
are.
thanks. No,
You always have nice clothes and jackets and shoes and all that.
it's been about my winter coat is like, it's very dramatic. I'll post
Yeah,
a
no.
picture of it, friends, but
No,
I
it looks good.
I can't think of the character name now from Watchmen, like because I'm wearing a mask and
Oh, right.
thing,
Yeah,
like I just
yeah,
feel
yeah.
powerful.
Yeah. Yes. No, I drive you nuts because you're like, what are you gonna wear for this? And I'm like, I don't know until literally 5 minutes beforehand. So
I'm like, Meg, do you need me to order you something?
I'm like, I don't know, don't worry about it. It'll be fine.
I'm a planner.
I know. But that's fun stuff to plan about, I suppose.
So there are people, and speaking of this, and I teach about this in my classes, there are people who will plan a trip and know exactly what they're going to do every day and where they're going to go and how much everything's going to cost. And then there are people who are just like, go with the flow. And if you are the opposite and you go on a trip together, you'll drive each other nuts. Thankfully, Meg, I think you and I are neither of those extremes. I think we're
more in the middle.
Like we'll plan ahead enough to like know where the rental car is, but we won't be like, well, we have to do this, this, and this. We'll just be like, you know what? We'll see what we feel like. And I think that's cool.
Yeah, we travel well together, even
Yeah.
though we do have those like personality differences. I think you're right. I think with traveling, we are on the same page.
And that, friends, we're just teaching. We're constantly teaching. You're constantly learning. This is how you know if you're meant to be with someone when you travel with them for the first time. If it doesn't work out and you like to travel, that maybe that's a bad fit.
Yeah,
for like
maybe that's
partner in life.
bad. That's true. I suspect that your husband goes with the flow pretty well.
And your husband does not. I know, because
my
I think people had to wake up at 4 a.m. to go to Disney World.
Yeah, no, he's not a go with the flow guy. Like he's many things, but he's not that. He's
How are our husbands best friends? Because they're so opposite.
Yeah.
I guess because Mark just goes along with whatever.
Right. It looks like we're doing this now.
Yeah. And Mark's like, okay.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yes.
It's like the Pete Davidson guy. He's like, okay. He's kind of like that.
He is.
He has more of a personality than that character.
He
though.
does.
You know,
of
friends.
course.
People are like, Kelly, blink twice if you're being held hostage by this man.
Okay. Okay, I wanted to talk about some of the old movies I watched.
Please.
I watched movies I hadn't seen. So I watched the David Cronenberg movie, The Brood, which is...
I'm looking it up right now. I just need to see.
I think you should watch it.
Where did you watch it?
HBO Max.
Oh.
It's got a really good payoff at the end. And Cookie, do you want to come on? And here, Cookie. It's one of my favorite things is it's Canadian and it actually takes place in Canada. So I was just like, oh, oh.
Yeah.
When they
You
had
were the
like
Leo
Leonardo
gif.
Materials. Yeah, I was the Leo DiCaprio. I'm like, because you know a lot of things are filmed there, but they don't take place there. So that was just a little thing that I liked. But yeah, it was good. It's creepy. I would definitely recommend it. And then I also watched Night of the Demons. Have you done an episode on that?
No, we
Okay.
should.
Yeah,
We
we
want
should. It's definitely a lot of like male gaze, but it was also really cool. So it's like a lot of 80s movies where it's like, oh wow, there's more movies and stuff, but they're also really cool things. So it's tough, you know.
I'm gonna interject and you rewatched the remake of what is it? Valentine's Day, what's it called?
Oh,
My Bloody Valentine?
yes.
There's
we
the
watched
longest
that
scene of a
one.
naked woman in the history of film.
That was so uncalled for. I don't remember that in the first. I mean, I
See, because
it happened,
we didn't know back then. We were just like, okay, it's a horror movie, so I mean, this is what to expect.
like she's so naked for so long. Like it's just too much. It's too much. I didn't like that. That movie's
Sorry
not
to
great.
interject.
Okay, no, but anyway, but yeah, Night of the Demons is fun. And I asked some people on Twitter the other day if I should watch the remake, and I kind of got
I saw that, so yeah.
And then last night I watched Asylum, which was like perfect British anthology horror. It's like it was written by Robert Bloch, who wrote Psycho, so that was kind of interesting.
Oh,
And it's like I love anthologies, so it's like this guy goes and he like talks to 4 different asylum patients, one of them being Charlotte Rampling, who's like gorgeous and talented. But anyway, so that was kind of interesting, and I would recommend that if you just want like a nice 70s anthology that's like kind of quiet and just makes you feel nostalgic, but like nothing's gonna make you be like, oh my god. Oh, and you know what else I watched? It's twice now, and I'll be watching it for a third time.
Yeah. I already know. It's a spoiler. Yes.
And I loved it. So I didn't know what I was gonna think, but I loved it. So
I told your son, because he's a rock lover, like I'm like, pay attention to the soundtrack. Did he?
yes,
Is he downloading Goblin stuff now?
He should be. I'm gonna remind him of that. But yeah, no, he really loved the soundtrack, and so we'll be watching it again tomorrow. Tomorrow night.
Nice.
So he loved it. I told him when he wanted to close his eyes, like, you know, this part might be, and he did. Because he kind of likes a little warning about that, but no, he absolutely loved it. So
I love it. You know, sorry, did you have more that you were wanting to bring up?
no, I think that's kind of that's been in the last like couple weeks.
That's awesome. I watched something. I'm so sorry that I didn't watch when it came out, but I'm like, I think I need to watch this. I watched Insidious for the first time.
Oh yeah.
And I had gone, like a friend texted me and was like, hey, do you want to go see Insidious 2 tonight in the theater? It's premiering. And I'm like, yes. And I hadn't seen the first one, but I didn't let on. I'm like, of course I'll go to the theater. Cause you know, back in the day, if you could go to a movie, let's go.
Yeah.
And so I didn't understand the context, but it was still a great time. Sure. Opening night of a horror movie with like a full theater, and it's mostly always teenagers who are doing jump scares, screams. Oh, so I went back and I watched the first one, and holy crap, Meg, I rewatched it again with Campbell, and then we watched it again with Mark. We're going to record on it. It has so many. James Wan is like goals, #goals. He has so many subtle things that are not jump scares. It's just like, oh my God, rewind it. There was somebody standing in the corner in that scene. And you don't notice it the first time you watch it, or you do, and it's like, wait, no, my eyes are something. Like it's that level of like.
I'm gonna have to watch it again. What did you watch it on?
I think it's on IMDb Pro or something, like it's on via Prime. So it has commercials, but whatever. Also, we wrote about her in our Science of Women in horror. It has a lead, a heroine who is over the age of 60.
Oh, right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, let's go.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. That you don't see that every day. So that's really cool. Good. I'm glad you watched it.
So yeah, that one I recommend. And we've also, this is not horror related, but we've been doing a rewatch of the Marvel Universe because we were obsessed with WandaVision, which WandaVision has taught me so many things about witches and witchcraft for our new book.
I feel
literally,
like there's gonna be a whole WandaVision chapter.
yeah, I literally read you a list of things that I'm going to talk about in my WandaVision chapter. And
Yes.
you're like,
What? Yeah. Luke and I want to watch that too. So maybe like in 2025, I'll get
oh, I'm sorry, Meg. You know what? When you need to binge watch something quickly, I will use my strong arm approach like I used with Cobra Kai and your husband. We did it all in like 2 weeks. So
yeah.
I'm like, no, this is what we're doing.
I'll have you come down and just be like, this, come sit here. This is what's happening.
He's afraid to say no to me. He's afraid to say no to you, but he's even more afraid.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, Meg's husband blinked twice.
Yeah. I don't care.
He's fine.
He's more than fine.
Well, should we wrap it up?
Yeah, I have to pee.
Oh.
Really bad.
Okay, friends, listen. Get our books, listen to the podcast, and stay tuned for more exciting news from Horror Rewind. Until next time, we'll see you in the horror section.
Yeah, see you in the horror section. Bye.
Bye.